Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game. Today we've got Sabo playing as 11th US Cavalry Division, and he's going up against Deep Battle Enjoyer with a slightly different text than the regular text. So he's called himself hashtag coloured for text for Deep Battle Enjoyer. That's how he's done that. And he's playing as 56Y. We're on Black Forest Duel today. Blue has the good side. It's the good side because you can get into Boris with your forward deployed units, although 11th Cav doesn't really get those apart from LRS. So you could put the LRS on this road, and you could get these in here the same time 56Y gets its forward deployment to here. So you can do that. But 11th, more of an open ground division. He wants to, well, to be honest, he wants to try and take Boris. I mean, tanks not incredibly useful attacking here. You can use them, but you basically gotta send them round the back and like try and find people, and then like cut the reinforcements with the tanks, and then send the infantry in. With the tanks sort of supporting, and you need to deal with this grain silo. Basically, farmers can see further than atheists, so the farmers put conkers in here and they shoot you. Whereas like an atheist can only see this far, but a farmer can see a lot further. Same with churches. Christians can see a lot further than atheists. That's how far a church can see. And this atheist guy next door, he's not as visually inclined. So looking at the deployments, we've got Sabo here. Got an LRS going into Anna, going to the church because he can see further than an atheist. And behind that, some dismounted troopers. So they've got AT4s, 3 MGs, only 6 strength, but 45 points. They've also got security, which means that when they're stood still, their optics will go from normal to good. And he's putting them here, so they won't be able to see anything. Like here would be good, right? But whatever. And then we've got some scouts here going down this road, and they're just going to look down here. So they will see people come in. And behind that, we've got an iHawk and a Unimog. So the iHawk's unloading here, and the Unimog's with it. He's very intelligently turned off auto sell by clicking this, and so that car won't sell. So he'll be able to move around his iHawks, and he's bought a supply for it because basically one plane flies over, you run out of ammo. Then we've got LRS going over to here. You can get to this building if you want it, and then behind that we have a green Archer, a Bradley CFV, an ACAV Recon M1A1, and another Recon M1A1. So what is the point of putting the Green Archer in the deck if you've also got Recon tanks anyway and very good optics Recon Bradleys? Like, this is, I feel, redundant. It does have one level optics higher, but I feel like it's a waste of a slot, really. And then you've got 2 Stingers and a Bradley CV. So no CV for Anna, but basically his idea is to come up here and secure this, but then he needs to do something with his tanks. I'll be honest, if the sides were switched, he would get center for free, and then he could spend the rest of the game attacking Fedor. But as it stands, he will get Fedor for free, and then he's got to spend the rest of the game either attacking Boris or attacking center. And so this is like a very defensive opener. I guess then he just wants to buy loads of heavy tanks and slowly work his way in. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, switch into his opponent's deployment. We've got Deep Battle Enjoyer, and he's opening with, so these are like proto SAS, and he's actually going to try and get them all the way in there, and he might succeed because the LRS is only going to here, so there won't actually be anybody to stop them. And yeah, so they've got great RPGs, Stingers, smoke grenades, but they're only 4 strength. So the fact that he's going over to here, if the tanks get a bead on him, he's going to die pretty fast. And then this one's going over to here, and he will make it because once again the scouts are going here, right, as opposed to like here with an LRS, in which case this wouldn't work. Behind that we have a Descent Mi-24D, and that's also going over here. I've noticed, yeah, he does have Stingers. He does have Stingers. And he's dropping a Dush Razvedka, still only 4 men. Going to the same spot as the other one is a bit strange, right? I guess he expects one of them to not make it. And then motorized Razvedka BMD2, and that's going to here. And then the BMD2 is going over here, so it can shoot its conkers across that field. So behind that, we've got a Chaika, which is just like a car, right? Or is it? No, it's not. It's a BTR thing. Yeah, it's an amphibious BTR thing. and a Concourse behind it. So the Concourse is going over to here, and the car's going over to there. I think he should get a mortar for smoke, otherwise an LGBT plane's going to mess this up. On the right, we've got Resvedka BTR going over to here. Then Spetsnaz Gru Stinger going over to the right side. Spetsnaz Gru Stinger again. This thing, which is an exceptional optics AA gun that can't shoot planes. So it's very good against infantry, basically. I mean, it carries so much ammo. There it is. And it's got exceptional optics and mediocre stealth, so it is a pretty interesting unit. And then Resvedka BMD2 also going for center, so I like Reds open a lot. We'll catch the game and we'll do it from this perspective. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joinering the channel. They get their names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. This week, depending on when you're seeing this week, the NDA drops for the new expansion Northag, so they've got early access to all those videos for the next week and a half, because I'm going back home to the fam for Christmas. I don't celebrate Christmas, but we all have holidays at the same time, so I get together with my family and eat food and relax and catch up, which is basically what Christmas is, right? So yeah, so if you want to help out the channel, but you don't want to send money to a dirty heathen who does or does not celebrate Christmas, depending on your religious viewpoint, you can just like the videos, please. It takes you like 10 seconds. You could have done it while I'm monologuing, waiting for something to happen. As you can see, the descent got there, and that LRS, basically you could just press T and shoot this, because he can't see it. He can't see it because of the way recon works in this game. He's only got mediocre optics. This F-16 should really mess that up. What he should have done here is attack positioned it, because he saw it go into the house, so he knew it was there, so he could have attack positioned it. Obviously he couldn't see it because the way recon works in this game. And yeah, that will make it. I don't really like the AGS Luazes. I don't really think they're worth the extra points. It's literally 50 quid, mate. 50 quid. And yeah, so that got messed up. I mean, basically these have high accuracy, right, because of the veterancy and the special forces trait. So we got the ACABs coming in. They're messing people up. This guy actually popped his smoke, big brain, but the scouts will beat him in a 1v1. The thing is, if he gets in here, the tanks will start shooting him, so he's got to be careful. And yeah, Blue's mechanized force is a lot stronger than Red's forward deployed motorized force. The problem he's going to have is, even with all this recon, he doesn't see this. So President could be MP2 there, and then here you go, here come the AT planes, so he's got to be careful. He's got to smoke, and he did. And the IHAWK hit. The Stingers aren't in range. I honestly, if I was in his position, I'd open double IHAWK. And then like 1 or 2 less Stingers. Bailed out crit, hello? This guy's really bad at the game. Basically, there's a 0.5% chance that whenever you get hit by something, your tank will just become unresponsive. Look, even I, as spectator, can't click on it. So that has a 0.5% chance of happening. So whenever that happens, you know that this guy's a really bad player, because he chose to have bad RNG there, and he should have played better. So basically, the next step, so that hit both, and it got the tank and the other thing. The next step basically would be to smoke this with a mortar, and then he can supply it. But actually, he just basically, if you resupply it with 500 supply, which it did across these two, then it will get the its mojo back. It'll get its mojo back. So +1 for Red, mainly because Sabo didn't buy a CV for over here, right? And Blue's still on the attack. Basically, Red bought like 2 minutes of planes, and so, although having said that, Blue has also bought 2 minutes of planes. A bit cheaper, like, so he's got a bit more on the ground, a bit more coming up. But yeah, this is why I like having the mortar for the smoke and stuff, because sometimes that kind of thing just happens. Like, you see he's lost a tank here. This guy's actually still here with his 21 pen RPG, and he's just sat in a circle of his own smoke. The thing is, once this fades, he will 21 pen RPG these things. So that is probably going to be very effective. Having said that, he's put it on return fire, which he should probably turn off now. This is really weird. Does he know they're there? He's about to. I mean, oh dear. Okay, now he knows, but now he's reversing into the path of the AT plane, so this is now like the third AT plane we've seen bought. Having said that, this resupplies both of its missiles in 60 seconds, so it might actually just be the second. I'm really not sure how... Oh, this got hit. Yeah, so the F-16C, 8th gets it as well, is like grossly overpriced, basically. And there you go, the Spetsnaz group finished them off. So, it just wasn't great attacking from Sabo. He bought his tanks, right? But tanks are basically the last thing you should bring. 11th ACAV's a bit different because you get the recon tanks, so you can use them. But what he should have used them for is, like, literally you put the tank on this, down this road, and then nobody's getting in there. And if you get it side on this building, then any AT planes coming in, if they're coming in from this way, they won't get line of sight because you're hugging the building. And so that keeps you alive if you keep yourself in this narrow little tunnel here. And you can shoot enemy reinforcements coming in, and then you pour infantry into here. But instead he... Because basically if you take this, then the enemy can't really take this, because you just look out of this window and shoot him. So that's how I would have done it. Having said that, 11th Cav is like more of a late game kind of div. Like more of like a team to late game kind of div, whereas 56Y is more of an early game div. More of an everything div, really. So he's lost most of his deployment, and those are all very expensive units. It's going to take him a long time. So he's bought the second IHawk now, and I would have been more in favour of, like, maybe open one ACAV tank, and then just make sure you've got two IHawks if you're going to open with tanks. Like, you need loads of AA before you buy your tanks, almost every time. So, Mech Rifles Dragon are a bit overpriced at the moment. I'd like to see them come down by 5 points. And there you go, Spetsnaz Group Stinger still there. So I'm surprised he bought this Hog, because he should have known that these were a Spetsnaz Group Stinger. Like, it wouldn't have missed. He should have known. So yeah, the mech rifles, they're up. I really like coloured text, hashtag US, hashtag coloured text for open curly braces, deep battle enjoyer, close curly braces, usage of the smoke grenades on his recon icon Spetsnaz Gru open bracket stinger close brackets. You see he's keeping them alive. Like, this would have died if he hadn't smoked it before. I'm not sure how it still has full ammo. Oh, because it captured an enemy supply truck. Yeah. So everybody's a bit thin on the ground, but Blue really just doesn't have a lot of units here. So now he's trying to slowly build up his Abrams, but it's just going to take him so long. And it is a +2 for red. The thing with Black Forest, though, is that games always take 40 minutes, so he's got plenty of time to build up his Abrams and take it nice and slow. Having said that, 56Y, it's got a lot of options. One of them is this, which you literally never should bring. You want to be bringing the cluster one instead. The cluster one costs about 100 points more, and if your enemy leaves his IHawk still, you kill it. Every time it shoots, you just hit it with the cluster thing. It'll just die if he doesn't move it. And same with tanks. So it's tank standing still, you chuck the cluster thing at it. If he doesn't move, it'll kill it. Usually they move, right? But, I believe the IHawk would get one shot by the cluster one. Whereas this HE one, don't get me wrong, it's 105 points cheaper. I actually think the cluster is 260. I might be wrong. But it's 105 points worse, so what's the point in it? In fact, I've actually never seen anybody bring it, so maybe it'll be good, and we just never knew because nobody brings it. I'm trying to find the edge of the range. So there should be a circle. Because, like, look, this has a circle around it. This should have a circle around it. But 18 kilometers is a long way, so... Oh, there it is. It's over here. Do you see it? So it can basically shoot the entire playable area of the map. Yeah, it bottoms out about here. So it's got nice range. I mean, it is a 240mm mortar. Look at that. Look at that beauty. How do you get things in the top? Or is it like breech loading? How do you get things in the top? I guess you don't. Maybe you open something here. I don't see it. I don't see the breach. Who knows? Maybe there's a ladder. Maybe there's a ladder and you just climb up and drop it in the top. And then you gotta get down the ladder before the round gets down. Otherwise, the shockwave just eviscerates your brain, turns you into scrambled eggs, and then you end up doing a PhD because you can't get a job. Nobody would be that stupid. So he's still not used it. And yeah, so Descent Mi-24D dodges. I mean, it would have survived anyway. He really should be sending it backwards. Okay, he's put it on low altitude. So, oh, he's just landed it. Okay. And, you know, honestly, the key to this zone is this forest. If you want to take this zone, you take this forest. Because if you as blue get units to here, right, nobody's getting in here. And if you as red get units into here, you know, to here, etc., the enemy struggles to reinforce and you're shooting him, right? So then you can get in the front. So there you go, two HAWKS, and they both hit that time. They would have got 2 more shots off. But you really should have opened 2 HAWKS. If you're going to be buying heavy tanks, you need to prioritize AA in your opener. Don't just have one. Don't just have one IHawk, don't just have one cub. If you're going to be buying loads of tanks, get 2 cubs. I've seen people open with like 5 shilkers, and then a cluster kills all their things, and then they say it's not their fault, and that the game's bad, and it was because of the aim time change. I mean, the aim time change wasn't great, but your 2,000 meter range shilker is never going to intercept that 4,000 meter range. Well, okay, if it's a cluster, it's a bit closer, right? But it'll only ever avenge. It's not going to kill. That's what you need the long range stuff for. Here we go. Hell's bells are sounding. And there you go. It does a little bit. I'd be a much bigger fan of the grads. He really needs to get this back. He's going to lose it for T62D. It's got low cohesion, so its accuracy is bad. So, basically, you can get grads on this div, and you can get 2 grads at 1 vet for free. Like, the card starts at 1 vet. So I didn't realise this. In the game with Homelander, somebody pointed it out to me. I was like, oh, his grads are 1 vet, so they reload really quick. Because then you put CV next to it, and that's 2 vet. This is another thing, right? So you need to get the smoke out, right? And so basically you can have the grads at 1 vet and then you buy a CV, or you just send this one because it's not doing anything, right? Or this one because it's not doing anything. Although a vehicle one's better. And you just follow around your artillery, and then your artillery goes really, really good. Some gameplay there. Yeah, I mean, if 11th does, like, he really needs to deal with this. This has been hit all game, and it's been bothering him all game. And every single game you play, there's always a Conkers in here. So you need to deal with it. And here we go. Here's the M109, the Paladin. I always get people saying, Hippie, only the upgrade is called a Paladin. Hippie, they're not called Pull Me Cheeky. And what can I say? I've just got a bad memory, I suppose. So the Paladin will presumably be used to get the Conkers. And yeah, like something like this can get counter batteried, right? Whereas the grads, the 2 grads, get them up to the 2 vet, and then they're reloading in like 80 seconds or something, I think. Interesting. So, you know, air combat's all about RNG, so sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss, and sometimes the enemy hits 3 times in a row and you lose 3 minutes income, and if that happens at the start of the game, you tend to just lose the game. And then they type skill issue. So, yeah, the game slowed down a lot. I mean, it makes sense for Blue to slow it down because he's building up. He needs his tanks, he needs his stuff. I really think he should be coming over here. But instead, like, I see loads of people do this. They want to keep this zone, and the way they do it is by just stacking tanks here. That's not how you do it. You need them in the forest over here, right? So that they can shoot across. You can't hold the zone by sitting behind the zone. Otherwise, all the enemy has to do, and I'm very surprised Red has not done this yet. I don't even know if this does shoot smoke. Is you just shoot smoke on this, and you literally just fast path it down the road, and you just sit in there. And then there you go, you're in the zone. So, you know, this is not how you hold a zone. Like, where's he going to go? Forwards, backwards. His enemy's done a very good job of having things on both sides. I would have liked to have seen a Conkers, like here. It can even just be this. So it's got that Repairer ATGM missile. You just put that there. And there you go. So now you've got cover here, front shots and get something here. Get a tank here. Obviously the recon's good, right? But you want to be shooting them from multiple angles every time, especially if they insist on just driving forwards and backwards. Here comes the... I thought it was an AT plane. So... Okay. LGBT going for the T-62D. I'm not sure why... Oh, he swapped to the Conkers. Sure. 56 wide doesn't get great long-range AA. This is basically the pinnacle of it. And so, you know, you can do things like that. And yeah, 30 pen will not front shot an Abrams. It will front shot a Leopard 2A3. It will not front shot a Challenger 1. So it's just something to keep in mind, because loads of the planes have 30 AP. Loads of them, like Mavericks. Are they called Mavericks? Mavericks have 30 AP. The one on the Thunderbolt. The one on the Su-25's got 30 AP, I think. 30 AP is just a really common anti-tank value. So, yeah, like, where's he going? The zone is here. The next zone here is literally here anyway. So what's the point in just sitting here, driving forwards, backwards? It's not the play. You get some infantry round here, right? You get Jaguar 2s in this div. You stack them in here, get somebody in there, right? And then that's how you stop them from getting in the zone. You cover the sides, you try and work up to here. Meantime, your tank should be fighting over down here, in here. Like, look, he got in. So there you go, another M1A1 destroyed. The HAWKS just not getting anything this time. Like I said, it's all RNG. There you go, here's the cluster, 230. I was wrong. I said it was 260. So yeah, the cluster thing's good. But yeah, I'd be bringing the Grad instead of the HE one, certainly. But yeah, I would... I mean, look, he's actually managed to make it in, which is great. And so now he needs to move the tanks in. We've got a bailed out here on the T-62. 2 bailed outs in one game. These players must both be as bad as each other. Choosing to receive a 0.5% crit there. Just a bad move any way you slice it. So, I mean, the Paladins on the T-62... If you've got no other targets, sure, but you should really be trying to deal with these mortars. I wonder what the cluster ones are going for. So they see so this Bradley's basically dead. Thing is, this is 2 minutes income right here. So people are like, oh, my thing, it just exploded. I didn't have a chance. This is a quarter of that. Quarter of the price, right? Roughly. So here you go, so you get the Marders down here, you get the tanks down here, you got to deal with this as well, so that's where your smoke comes in, or your Paladins or whatever, and you just deal with that. You're setting an LRS, so he can at least see it, so then he can shoot it. And now he's going to spot all those Strellas. Yeah, there were 3 of them, and there was a Spetsnaz Grustinger there, so it was a bit deep. Panzer Grenadiers get DMRs now, which actually makes them incredibly effective against infantry. Obviously at Novet they're not that effective. And yeah, he needs to deal with this really. But he's not... Okay. He is now aiming for the right building. But yeah, you need to work on your smoke game if Sabo is watching this. So there you go, he needs to react. Will he react in time? He didn't. A bit of that's RNG really, but... Yeah, it happens. There you go, Conkers is down. And now these need to just go straight in. And you need to get the tank here, the tank there, so it can shoot down at the enemy reinforcements coming through here. And you need like a Stinger as well, because really all Red has to do is sit here now. And buy a mortar for smoke and then just drive this back in here and then drive it back out again. And repel borders, of course, now that the mech rifles are coming in. So yeah, blue needs to use the smoke, because also like once you get this in here, you need to smoke it up, right? So you don't get smacked, because this is a very exposed salient. You get shot from this side, you get shot from this side. You need that smoke. You need that smoke. So instead he's bringing out the planes again. 30 pen. 2 shots in Abrams. Although this guy's lost some HP here, so it might one-shot it. And really, like, these HAWKS haven't moved all game. I'm very surprised the clusters haven't tried to get it. At any point, they haven't moved. This also doesn't have any supply, so... This does have 3 rounds, but I don't think he's noticed this one's empty. So, Blue doing a decent job here of actually getting in. And now he needs to smoke this up and get the tank in. Because really, like, so if Red hadn't got this thing, he'd have the grad card, and the grad card is just so perfect for this situation. You just constantly grad this little salient, and you just destroy everything. He hasn't reacted, this is gonna die now. It survived. Oh no, why is he doing that? Okay, I mean it works, but the last time he tried that, his fighter died, so you shouldn't do it twice, right? But yeah, he sent the LGBT out at the same time. Another thing you can do is use the LGBT to kill the AA. Because then the opponent will... Yeah, so this is why you needed the tank, because they're all just dying. The tank or the smoke, or even both, depending on how you do it. You know, smoke this, tank here. He's not got any AA, and you notice that he's not... It's like, get off the road, Mr. Frodo! But he ran forwards and then he ran backwards. So he stayed on the road getting shot at the whole time, so it's not great. So yeah, he needs to try and get in. He's going to try and hide behind this building. It's pretty perfect for those clusters to get, to be honest. That's why you need the smoke, because then you can hide in a bit of a wider area. And I do like how he's trying to clean this out. Red hasn't, like, this should really be here. Like, once this Conqueror's died, he should have put another one in. Something in there. So, will this smoke in time, or will it just die? You chose death. And you see how it disappears as soon as the recon one dies, even though it hasn't moved. Like, this just stopped shooting it. You can't see it anymore. It's really dumb, but it is what it is. And, okay. That's one way of doing it. He's got a lot of kilos. And the M1A1 was side shot there, but this, you know, the pen ain't great. And yeah, this guy's still here. Like, he's got to use his arty. If I was Red in this situation, I'd be trying to refill this Conqueror's position, refill this Conqueror's position. Obviously get another CV. In fact, he's got one. Get that CV up to there. You know, repel borders. We already spoke about the grads. Make sure your arty's always shooting. What you can do as well, like these guys... Really, the 2 Spetsnaz grew especially, as soon as this was clear, they should have been sent forwards and put here to blow things up. And then when they send the helicopters, you've got Stingers, so that's a very, very effective unit to do that. Instead, a lot of his utility has just been sat here, not really doing anything. And now this is going to curl all the way back around over those Strellas. Yeah, you shouldn't have done that. You should have kept it going and sent it back here. Or just chanced it over here, but you don't want to go over where you know there's AA. When it misses. So, yeah, he can't really keep it in, right? The clusters and everything are just killing him. But, like, he should be counter-batterying this. These haven't moved. These haven't moved. Neither's this. It's a towed vehicle. It says 6 strength for some reason. There's only 2 guys there, but whatever. These definitely should have been counter-batterying that. And if you're Red, you want to move these after every shot, because this is literally a minute's income. 250 out of 260 per thing, because you gotta keep in mind that you gotta buy the transport. You gotta buy the transport. So, yeah, what can I say? Cluster also does do light damage against infantry, which is why you see that happening. He's actually running into it. And yeah, like, this shouldn't be around. He got it wounded last time, and it shouldn't still be here. Has he landed it? No, he's not. Second time we've seen that happen, just a bit of sloppy micro there, needs a bit more practice basically. Just a bit of a sloppy micro. I mean, everybody makes mistakes, right? Except me, I'm perfect. So, yeah, what could I say? He's in there, but as long as he doesn't have a CV in, he's not accomplishing anything. So, he needs a CV in there, otherwise you're not accomplishing anything. And he really should have tried to get a recon here. And then you can stop this annoyance from just shooting all your stuff from this building here. He's got to move this now. But I'm very surprised that he's just willing to just let this happen. It's like, this'll die now. Down he goes. And that like these haven't moved. Oh, he's moved it now. They didn't move for like 3, 4, 5 volleys. It's weird. He seems to know. I guess it's because the Abrams died. He probably saw the Abrams die and he was like, oh, we should probably move it now. But yeah, that's the first time we've seen those move. So he is now counter-battering it, but they've just moved. So that's pretty unlucky if you're blue. Pretty lucky if you're red. So they will survive now. So here we go. He's trying to get this back in. As he should. And because he needs that +1 for a long time to get those points back. And yeah, I would have liked to have seen red threaten a bit down here. Not even to try and take it, but just to force your enemy to spend points here. And, you know, you can send something around the side, mess them up that way. The smoke thing, we spoke about the smoke thing. Everybody should just be doing that every single game. And yeah, he keeps diving with these F-16s, I'm not sure why. Everybody should just be doing that every game. So what happened to this? Like, it didn't... It's changed his mind, I guess. Also, like, this IHAWK's been empty for absolutely ages. He's just not bothered with it. And the IHAWK should be moving. They should be moving up, really. As you move up, your IHAWK should be moving up. But he's acting like he's got all the time in the world, and he doesn't. Like, 2/3 of the game's already gone. And he really seems allergic to bringing AA into this salient. Keeps sending infantry and it keeps dying. Like, he's got a stinger here, he could just send it to there, and this wouldn't be happening anymore. That's weird. It says it can't see it. Kokons are pretty scary now. They had their AP buffed. And they had their speed buffed. Actually, it might have been 20 before. Or was it 19 or something? Green Archer moment. There you go, he's got some stingers now. So you see, he backed it this way, intelligently. Still gets a hit from his, what's the things. This guy isn't even in there. He's just that behind it. But yeah, the clusters, they've put them on return fire, so as soon as this goes blue, he'll shoot it. And this is why you need the smoke, if you're blue, on this side. You should be making like a smoke curtain here. And you should be, you know, then you've got more places to hide the CB. And you should also, like, this should be moved up to here. And red, I mean, I don't understand this. This should be in that building, basically. Might eat an Igla there. No, he survives. And yeah, another thing you can do is get the Bradley up to here, you know. Get some deeps on the ground. I mean, this is just sad. So, yeah, we got the MiGs circling. I'm not sure what their intention is, because he wouldn't actually be able to see the... So this is the weird thing. He's double volleying the position every time. We saw that before. So he's just shooting nothing, because he'll have moved after the first one. There you go, so here's this... Oh, okay, so the smoke was just him popping his smoke on his tank. But even so, you know, if blue defended this zone properly, that wouldn't be possible, because there would be something here, and he would shoot him on his way in. He wouldn't be able to do that. So here we go, so these should now stop being on return fire, and that will allow them to fire their volleys. Blue needs an extra CV, so we can put it in here. Here we go, these are going to go in now. So he's got to move this right now. He's got to move it right now, and he does. He's been stunned. It's all about the RNG now. That was really unlucky, but he will still survive. That was really unlucky, actually. They both landed right next to him. So there you go. It's going to be +1 for red again until blue gets another CV up. He's going over here now. He's finally bought the mortars. 10 minutes left. Just don't understand why he keeps doing this with his F-16s. Just keeps diving. He doesn't have to do that. Just wait for these guys to come in. Resupply your HAWKS, you know. This man might die. Yeah, he got side shot anyway, and he lost 2 armor. He lost 2 HP, so he would have been hit. There you go, you see? He didn't move him this time. It's just bad luck, really, for blue at that stage. Although, you know, if you move them forwards, they get a bit better, but... Another thing you can do is try to do a funny, you know, send somebody around the sides, Particularly against high value artillery, it's often worth it. But this is just so sad, man. I mean, he's not in the zone. He's not paying attention. There you go. So that'll put him back on the +1 for a little bit. Oh, actually, no, I think that's just stopped the tick, because it must have been +1 to red when that was happening. And, yeah, what can I say? Still waiting on this. So he must have 2 cards of M1 Abrams, M1A1 Abrams CV. So I'm liking this. He's sending this. Oh, okay, that's an interesting way of doing things, isn't it? Just reveal that you're attacking with scouts, just 4 guys just shooting. These guys can't shoot back for some reason. That's so weird. You'd assume it's because of lack of vision, but they can definitely see it because of this Spetsnaz Group Stinger. That is just weird as anything. Anyway. Pivad's up against tank. Yeah. It's about as well as you might imagine. And these are getting healed up now, presumably? Nope. So the problem with doing that with your Jaguar 2... Okay, can I actually... doing this? So, yeah, just throw in... Just throw in. Anyway, your mortars, you know, they smoke this up, you get this in. Back it up with one of those pivads instead of sending them all over here in case he sends helicopters and stuff, you get that in. Could have sent like a... He could have built up for like 2 minutes and then sent all that in at once instead of just a CV by itself. Well, a scouts by himself and then a CV. Now he's holding fire. But hashtag US hashtag coloured text for Deep Battle Enjoyer is just not reacting at all. He's just not noticed that's happening. And there you go. So blue finally has sufficient AA. These aren't firing or doing much of anything. Yeah, he's finally got stingers in here. LGBT going for the tank. He knows there's AA there. And another, so basically, if you have a position, if you use attack position, you need to wait a couple seconds before you evac. But if you have regular position, you can just press the evac. Thing is, he wanted to control the evac direction. You see how he's pulling it this way, so it doesn't get hit by all the AA. It's weird how he's willing to do that for the LGBT, but not for his other planes. Must be a diversity initiative. So this'll, you know, get in, and now coloured text for Deep Battle Enjoyer will notice something is wrong here, and he will probably send the planes, and the mortars aren't smoking this, so I'm not feeling confident that Sabre will have the ability to hold that angle. Having said that, the planes, I'm not sure what's... Yeah, there you go, he's still gone. So yeah, just leaving these in the open. MTI Hawk still. And yeah, that can be useful, but I mean, just smoking this would have been so helpful. You just smoke this, and then you put the infantry in here, and then there you go. So now you're sorted, and they can't shoot you every time you come down the road and all this. But it takes a lot of practice, I guess. So the scouts moving up to the grain silo, undergoing conversion to farmers. They're turning into farmers. That CV just died to the clusters because he wasn't paying attention. There's a good LGBT there, he got the exposed unit. Although he's really chancing every time he flies over this. This would be a much better place to send it because he knows there's loads of AA here. And you would assume there isn't much here. So this guy is now dead because he wasn't on return fire, so he opened fire and now everybody's shooting him. And now that tank looks very lonely, and he's not backed him up at all. He's not bought any backup for it, but it is a +2 for Sabre with 6 minutes left. The thing is, he's lost his CV, right? And this is just fast pathing in. It's a shame. I mean, he could have microed that a little bit better. So there you go. He's finally punishing these planes, although he has been for a few minutes now. It's just really weird how text file Deep Battle Enjoyer is not noticing that these have been firing from the exact same location for the past, you know, 30 minutes or what have you, so he should really be doing something about that. Also these, if they were going to saturate the area, you want to shift click this like 20 million times. I'm trained, I'm a trained veterancy. Oh dear, what a weird bug. I'm trained veterancy. I can't get rid of it. I just have to constantly click. I don't think you can hear it. I'll just be trained veterancy down here, shall I? And yeah, there's just been a serious sort of lack of noticing here. He's just not noticed at all. The reason that scout died is because they all auto-attacked it. He's not done anything. He's not noticed. No reinforcements, nothing. He's just not looking, I guess. It's just a practice thing, really. You know, the more you practice, the better you get. And here we go. So, like, you know, Blue's now online. He's got loads and loads of M1A1s. I'm just saying that basically you can get into this situation a bit faster if you're Blue. You can get there 10 minutes earlier if you don't constantly lose your M1A1s to play. So you need that. I mean, does he not have smoke? I guess because he got a crit there, his tank was routed, right? So these guys are back to aiming at that, although he's put them on return fire, which is weird because he knows it's in there. Although, well, I guess now he knows it's not. Oh no, this is why you don't want to put 3 in 1. And now, no, you don't want to be doing that, my friends. He knows it's coming in here, so you should hide there. But I guess he's worried about lack of infantry means that enemy infantry can come in and get him. Maybe that was it. Still no noticing going on here. And, you know, imagine how much better this would be going for Blue if this IHawk had been resupplied. He does actually get that one with the Stinger. And, yeah, you want to get your smoke back as fast as possible. Also, like, they've got rounds. They should be shooting this. Right, this guy's probably bit it now. Yeah. Oh, no, he might make it. Reversing. This is an situation. I mean, really... Yeah, there you go. There's the helicopter. That is not what you want to be doing with that at all. I guess he lost all his fighters before because he kept YOLOing them. But he should have just had, like... Did he not have any of those pivas left? I guess they all died. It's kind of hard. I want to click things, but I'm trained veterancy. The game really wants me to know that I have stress recovery 1 per second. It's a very odd bug. But yeah, lack of AA just constantly for Blue. Lack of AA, lack of AA, lack of AA. And then whenever he's got it, it does a lot of work, the American AA. There you go, so the Seed would have been a better candidate to go on the helicopter, but it's still just not smart to just constantly be diving this constantly. He lost that Abrams CV, I didn't see how, I wasn't looking. Maybe it was a plane. So here you go. But he's only pressed it once. He needs to shift queue it like 20 times, otherwise it'll just fire 2 volleys and stop. I believe mortars default to 2 volleys. This is really weird though, I just don't understand this at all. He's just not looked over here. You gotta keep your eye on the ball, you know, you can't just let somebody sneak into your zone and then not do anything about it. So that was an attack position because he didn't keep the location. The thing is that this can now get in there because all his Abrams have died and stuff. I guess he could put this here. Yeah, that'd be great, but it's not there, so it doesn't actually see it. So this is going to get in. And he doesn't have... basically, once you get to this stage in the game, when things are getting tight, you want backup CVs for when your CV dies, you've immediately got the next one. For situations just like this one. So now that the red will be on a +1... Oh, wow, I've gone up a level. I'm veteran now. I've up-vetted. What a weird bug. It's still on me. This is Deep Battle Enjoyer. He's rank 2000, and this is Sabo, and he is rank 1000. So you know, fairly similar kind of skill. Kind of, I mean, 300 games, 500 games. So you know, a lot of people say like, you know, Hippie, bro. Tier 2 and Tier 3 channel members get 1 cast per month, and you should be nicer to them, because if you just slate them, then they're going to cancel their membership. And I have had that happen lots of times, but I think people prefer me for my honesty. I mean, look, this got loads of kills, but just imagine if he'd had those grads and 3 cards of supply. The Sabo never would have been in that zone for more than about 20 seconds. Well, okay, 80 seconds, because then the grads would hit everything, and then you run in with the infantry, but hopefully he's learning, but the cluster ones are really good. Like it's not, you know, sometimes you see him get loads of kills, and it's just look at the high levelness of the kills. I'm a veteran. Stolen Valor. So yeah, I think we've laboured it enough. Both sides made some micro mistakes. It was a really interesting game, actually. I thought Blue was like totally cooked from minute one, but he actually, if that had gone on for another 10 minutes, I think he would have won. Who knows? I'll see you in the next one. GG.